You cannot solve your problems with the same level of thinking that you created them. Albert Einstein. What if I gave you a permission slip that said, your job is to feel good? And what if I told you that the better you feel, the bigger impact you can make in the world? And in fact, that is the magical parenting strategy that we've all been searching for. Hey, I'm Heather Chauvin, wife, mother of 3 boys, former social worker, breadwinner, recovering hustler, and stage 4 cancer survivor. Beyond all of these titles and labels, I'm a human being just like you, attempting to navigate it all while feeling good. My goal on this show is to show you that you can live an energized, sustainable life both at home and at work. My attempt is to keep it real with stories, interviews, and random thoughts. This is not a business or career podcast, and it's not a parenting podcast. It's both and so much more. You will laugh, you will cry, and you may even get a little frustrated with the truth you've been hiding from yourself. I believe all human behavior is a language, whether it's through your children, your health, or your relationships. And when you learn to listen instead of react, we begin to understand what it truly means to feel alive and in control. It's time to ditch self-sacrifice and step into your brave zone. All right, everyone, this is day 2 of Getting Out of Your Own Way. So this is a free mini series that I offer every now and again, and sometimes I do it live. So in the live round, I obviously am gifting you these additional podcasts, but you can also text me, 313-710-5199, and engage in the conversation. You also have an opportunity to win a scholarship to my upcoming coaching program called The Courageous Rewrite. And in order to do that, just check out the post on my feed on Instagram, and you can find me at Heather Chauvin. So today is day 2, creating your desired reality. And if you head on over, if you do not have the PDF, the workbook, you're going to see the belief cycle. And I'm walking through this process. There's also an additional video that you can watch. So just go to heatherchauvin.com/workshop to download the workbook. So this quote, you cannot solve your problems with the same level of thinking that you created them. I remember when I started my personal development journey. This was almost, 16 years ago. And it wasn't until I really started investing in myself. And what I mean by investing, I don't mean buying coaching programs. Investing to me means you are actually all in and you're not allowing your excuses to run the show anymore. So energetically, you are invested in looking at your fear, looking at your resistance, looking at what is truly stopping you, looking at how you're using maybe your children, your partner, your career for your lack of sense of fulfillment and purpose or fatigue. Our culture itself really idolizes a woman who is broke, who is fatigued, who is miserable, who is giving, and not receiving. So, the common theme is women saying, self-care is selfish, or I feel guilty for putting my needs first, or even feel guilty for considering what my needs are, creating space to figure it out. Well, yesterday we talked about understanding fear and guilt. And if you're living from a place of guilt, you are manifesting a life that is riddled with guilt, lack mindset. You're probably experiencing some financial debt. You probably feel like you don't have a lot of time, you don't have a lot of energy. And this is just a direct reflection of your actions and your thinking and buying into those feelings. So today I'm just going to physically show you, if you're looking at the workbook, again, you can go to heatherchauvin.com/workshop, download the workbook, and episode number 2, creating your desired reality, we talk about the belief cycle. So in the video, I talk more about beliefs, thoughts, actions, and realities, but today I just want to tell you some personal stories. Lots of stories in my own personal and professional life. I reuse this model every single day. I use it in my journal. I use it with my clients. When I'm finding myself getting mentally stuck, I am reverse engineering how I want to feel. I'm reverse engineering the desired reality that I want to create. And I will tell you, every single time that I feel stuck or I feel like I'm in a pickle or I just can't get out of my own way, it is my lack of courageous action that I'm taking. And what I mean by courageous action is the discomfort that is needed, the risk that you need to take to leap into the fear of uncertainty to create your certain, secure, desired reality. So if you've been following me and listening to the podcast for a while, in 2020, I talked about the leap that I was taking to really take back control of my physical health and my mental health. And, I've always been, in the last few years anyways, I've always been okay. I've actually probably been above average in my work ethic, in how I think, definitely how I feel. But one area of my life that I felt like I didn't master yet was my food and my physical exercise. And I had a lot of resistance around it. And part of that was the belief that if I actually took back control of my food, I was buying into diet culture. And what I mean by diet culture is this very toxic way of thinking that if I actually had to put boundaries around my food, I was depriving myself. And that was my belief, right? So if I believe that, I'm telling myself these stories, I'm having these thoughts that, learning about food, having boundaries around food is depriving myself and it's restrictive. And then, therefore I'm being harmful to my body. And because I believed this, the action that I was taking was also inaction. And the action that I was taking was actually putting shit into my body. Like it got to a point where I was eating a big bag of chips a night during COVID and I was at my ultimate high weight. But I believed, and the thoughts and stories that I was telling myself, that while I was putting those chips in my body, I was respecting my body. And then the desired reality the reality that I created for myself was that I felt like crap in my body. I felt like crap in my mind because food directly affects your mood. And it was not productive. It was not life enhancing, but I convinced myself because as well, I also bought into the cultural conversation. Because when you're scrolling on Instagram and everyone's telling you, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, then all of a sudden you give yourself permission to buy into this low vibration of the cultural expectation of who you need to be, which is to feel like shit. And it's a non-negotiable for me. I've had non-negotiables of feeling like shit in every other area of my life. And this is just kind of how COVID and the pandemic, pulled the rug out from my feet. And I just don't buy into it anymore. So I knew that I was losing my power when it came to my body and food. I just didn't let it get to the point where I was in a crisis state. So it lasted, let's say, a month or so. And then I was like, okay, I don't like this feeling. I'm going to do something about it. So I invested in a coach. And it wasn't just the financial investment that scared the shit out of me. It was the time and the energy, because I knew I had to show up. And I knew I had to do the work, right? Nobody's here to save me. Nobody's going to rescue me. I need to rescue myself. I need to save myself. But you can hire experts or people who are practicing what they preach and, a few steps ahead of you. And it's the concoction of that. You're jumping into their community. You're jumping into their space. You're making a commitment to yourself. And you really have to look yourself in the mirror and say, am I committed to even just trusting the process, right? So I was scared. I did not believe that change was possible. I did not believe, and this all goes back to the cycle that I'm showing you, the belief, thoughts, actions, and reality. I didn't believe change was possible. I truly didn't. I've never achieved those physical results in my body before, so I didn't have any prior belief that change was possible. I've never stuck to a meal plan or eating process because, again, my belief that I was buying into diet culture. I was afraid of judgment from friends and family, making passive aggressive comments about like, oh, must be nice, or oh, like, who do you think you are? Just all the things that women do to each other, which is fucking ridiculous. And which are not my people, by the way. And, and then I was probably just scared of a whole bunch of crap that I'm not even conscious of. But I was committed to the desired reality that I wanted to create, which was to feel amazing in my mind and my body. I didn't really care what I look like, to be honest with you. That's the side effect, because I always tell you it's the feeling that you're after. But here's the thing. You don't always feel good when you're in the middle of the journey. So it's been 6 months. My body has released 20 pounds. I feel better than ever. People are commenting on social about, wow, you look great. And just my face in general. I have more energy. My brain is focused. But here's the thing. This wasn't just the food and the fitness that transformed my life. This is everything that I have been teaching women for the last 10 years. This is all of the work that I have been doing. This was just, one bucket of my life where I really wanted to get laser focused. But the mindset is a huge piece. And I also noticed that with, women within the group, because I was in a small cohort of women. That mindset is key. And it doesn't matter how hard you push in the gym. It doesn't matter how clean you eat. If you are living from a place of fear or lack, you will have chronic anxiety, you will lean towards depressive tendencies, and you will still look in the mirror and never feel like you are enough, even if everybody is giving you praise. Even if everyone is giving you praise. So here's the thing. The journey for me was not a weight loss goal. The journey for me was to take back my power in this area of my life. And I truly did not believe change was possible, but I invested in somebody who held the belief for me. She was like, Heather, you follow my process, you trust me, I will get you there, but you got to do the work. So slowly, even if my thoughts weren't changing, okay, even if my thoughts weren't changing right away and my thoughts were still like, I can't do this, it's not possible, I don't have time for this, I started telling myself, you can do this. Just do it for 10 minutes, just one meal today, right? Just micro habits. And I started taking different action. And because I started taking different action, my reality started to change. And then my beliefs started to change in myself and my ability. And I see this every single day when I'm working with my clients around parenting, when I'm working with my clients around boundaries, when I'm working with my clients around time management and energy management, and the mindset of the critical thinker, and your money and your energy. It is all possible. But if you believe that it is not possible, and yet you are still not willing to be open and curious around how, you cannot solve your problems with the same thinking that you created them. So this is why I am such a fan of investment. This is why I am such a fan of getting uncomfortable. The work is actually not hard. It is not hard to put your shoes on and to walk down the street. It is not hard to send an email. It is not hard to make a meal. You're doing these things anyways. You just have to be mindful of your resistance. Emotional intelligence is beautiful. You can create freedom in any area of your life if you are willing to get uncomfortable. You do not need to hustle. You do not need to burn yourself out. But here's the thing. I'm a woman who has built a 7-figure business, who raised 3 boys, and has support, lots of support around me because I have built that lifestyle. But here is also the thing. I've had to change my thinking every single day. Every single day in order to pursue and give myself permission to lean into my desires, the knowing of wouldn't it be nice if I, and making that list and courageously checking those things off the list by getting wildly, emotionally uncomfortable. It's not hard. But if you believe that burnout or busyness or being in debt or barely surviving means you're good enough in the world, you will find more evidence of why you can't accomplish your dreams. You will find more evidence of why your children are bad. You will find more evidence of why your relationships will not survive. You will find more evidence of why you can't do something. But if you're willing to listen to that deep, deep desire, that little voice, your intuition that's saying, there's a bigger purpose here. Follow this breadcrumb. Lean in. Trust the process. Just trust me for one day, one moment. You can do this. How can you? How can you? When you create the space and you get quiet enough, you will begin to hear the stories your soul is truly craving from you. And when you do that, you feel your feelings, the fear, the guilt, and you take the action that you know you need to take anyways. And slowly, 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 your life begins to change. This is how you get out of your own way. This is how you make magic happen. But only if you are willing to show up. All right, everyone. That is day 2 of Get Out of Your Own Way mini course, How to Create Your Desired Reality. A reminder, listen to this again. Go watch video number 2 with your workbook. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, go to heatherchauvin.com/workshop and text me 313-710-5199. And if you want to participate in the free scholarship, check out the post in my Instagram feed at Heather Chauvin. And if you are ready for the next step and you want to join Courageous Rewrite, which is literally helping you courageously redesign the life you crave, go to heatherchauvin.com/CR2021. So myname.com/CR2021. And if you have questions, just text me. You get $500 off the pay in full price up until January. So January 5th, which is when this is going out at midnight. That is when that expires. So if you want to join us for the next round, which starts January 28th, sign up today. All right, you got this. It's easy. What's uncomfortable is feeling your feelings.